Howdy, all. This is Kyle Whittington, and I know we've been teasing out the fact that, we're about to announce the next speaker for the Catholic Creator Conference 2025. So I flew all the way out to Iowa just to meet with the next guy. So I am happy to announce that we will be having the one, the only Catholic John Wick, Keith Nestor.
Hey, Kyle, how's it going? They probably gave it away if they watched my stuff when the camera had like the Catholic feedback in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, when you said Iowa too, I mean that there's really only, I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things
few
that
people
like
that could be.
If you didn't know within the first 3 seconds, you definitely know now. So, but yeah, Keith, thanks for like hosting me. Like this was awesome. I slept in like the softest sheets on the planet last night here at your house. This was amazing.
I had those woven just for you.
Okay.
I took your measurements and everything and had them custom made for you by these nuns in a secret place.
Okay, wow.
Making them just for you, Kyle.
Yeah, that
awesome.
Puts Southern hospitality to shame.
Yeah, Southern hospitality. Midwestern hospitality is where it's at.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, so you're going to be a speaker here. We've already announced John Bevens. So I guess, can you tease out a little bit of what you plan on doing this summer?
Well, first of all, thank you for asking me to come. I just wanted to come as an attendee, to be honest with you. And then when you were like, hey, would you be one of the speakers? I was honored to be asked to do that.
Yeah.
And this is something that's near and dear to my heart as someone who is in this space as well. And the main thing I want to talk about is how to gain the world and not lose your soul. Because I think about gaining the world, not from a standpoint of materialistic gaining the world, but how do we gain access to the world? How do we gain the world for Christ? How do we reveal Jesus to people in the world in a way that we've never been able to do in history through Catholic creation, through content, through social media, all of these things. But at the same time, here's the thing. We have to do that in a way that's healthy for us and in a way that is going to keep us from compromising who we are in the first place. So how to gain the world and not lose your soul, it's about how you operate in this space as a Catholic without compromising who you are or the faith itself.
Yeah. Awesome. So, and then there's also going to be a workshop. I know we're still trying to like work down the details. So on that. So, if anybody wants to, has any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. We're still trying to work out the details on that, but I think it's going to be it's going to be a great time. But so how did you hear about this? You said you were already wanting to come as an attendee. How did you hear about this?
I think I heard about it just because I saw some stuff on social media last year about the conference. Because I follow you and I follow a lot of the other creators that are on there, and people were talking about this. And I remember thinking, that sounds really cool. I would love to do something like that. When I was first getting into the YouTube space, I was looking into going to like just a regular, YouTuber conference. And then COVID happened, so that got canceled. And then I remember thinking it'd be cool if there was one that was specifically for Catholic content creators. And then lo and behold, I saw you were doing this. And then, of course, I got super jealous when I saw all of the posting from afterwards. And you guys look like you had so much fun. And I just thought, I would love to just be around other people because I would learn so much from being around other people and also the camaraderie and fellowship of that. So I had already decided that I wanted to really do what I could to get there. But to be able to share some of my own ideas there is really an honor. And I'm really hoping, like with the workshops, my goal is we're going to drill down is pretty practical things. I want the content creators that come to this conference to leave feeling equipped and empowered. I don't want them to just go, oh, that was a great time, but then they go home and it's like, well, what do I do differently?
Yeah.
I want them to leave with some real skills. So I know you and I have talked about a couple practical ideas, but I do think it's important that we hear from people. And especially if someone that has watched some of my stuff or whatever, if there's anything that I do that you're like, how do I do that? Or that you'd like to learn from me specifically, drop that in the comments and we can work through that. But yeah, I'm really excited about the opportunity to hang out with people and to share.
Yeah, no, one thing that makes me really excited about that is that, if I said, hey, do you want to go see a Christian movie or do you want to go see a Catholic movie or something like that? Chances are your reaction is going to be something like, no, I'm good. The church used to drive the culture. Walk into St. Peter's Basilica and you see the art that the church was the tip of the spear in leading. And it seems that lately we've got to become content to surrender that. So, and then there's another thing where sometimes like the faith is used as an excuse for mediocrity. It's like, well, I'm not doing too well, but it's Catholic, so you should support it because it's Catholic. And there is some truth to that. I don't want to downplay that, but at the same time, if we are going to go out into the world, we need to have that emphasis on excellence. So I think that having this workshop, having you there specifically, is going to be a step along the way to getting Christians, getting the church back into the driver's seat of the culture.
That's so huge because we have seen so many powerful examples of what this looks like when it's done correctly. Mm-hmm. And we've also unfortunately seen examples of what it looks like when it's sort of cheeseball. Right. And the world doesn't need any more cheeseball Christianity. And oftentimes what happens when you try to combine art with the faith, obviously as Catholics, we have this rich history thing. I'm talking about modern day expressions of this digitally. It can, like you said, sometimes we can just sort of make excuses for ourselves and say, well, I don't need to really care about how things look or how things sound or whether this is beautiful. I just need to say the things.
Right.
And sometimes how we say the things is what opens the door to the things. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's important that we do that. But at the same time, and this is the rub, you can easily get so caught up in the aesthetic that you forget about what it's for.
Right.
And I've seen that too, where it becomes more about the medium than the message. So that's a line that we have to walk very carefully to make sure that we understand all of this stuff is a means to an end, but it's an important means, but it's an even more important end. And we have to make sure that we're cognizant of both of those pieces of this equation.
Yeah, no, I think one thing that's important is to think of ourselves as digital missionaries. So part of that is learning the culture of the continent, the digital continent that we're on. And, part of that is the aesthetic. But, just like a missionary, you can't forget where you're coming from. You can't forget your mission. That's also, important to, learn the culture, but also make sure that you infuse the gospel into it. So, yeah.
Well, I can't wait. I'm super excited for it. And I know we're going to learn a lot, but we're also going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. So if you are a creator, if you're interested in attending, go to CatholicCreatorConference.com. The link is in the description. Also, if you're not a creator and you'd like to support, we also have a support link down in the description. Anybody who donates like $100 or more, that's you'll get your name in a special thank you. We'll be praying for your intentions. And also, just a little bit I'll peel back the curtain a little bit and tell you what that money's being used for. The cost of attending isn't cheap. It's not cheap to put these things on, but we also don't want to keep the cost as a barrier to keep somebody like a really good creator that might be struggling financially. So these funds are going to be used to fund scholarships for these guys to help these guys that otherwise wouldn't have been able to make it. So if you're interested in that, links are in the description. And then, I guess the final thing is that we're also selling merch. So if you don't want to just give a donation to, for tax purposes as just a for-profit company, if you would like to get something in return, we also have a merch store that's available with some of the slogans that we've come up with. And then also, some stuff that just kind of looks cool. Every clothing purchase that you make, that's $20 toward the scholarship fund. So if you're interested in that, all the links are in the description. And so Keith, do you have any final thoughts?
I can't wait to get there. I hope that people will come to this. I know the other part about it that I want people to understand is that this is going to be a pretty intimate group of people. I think it's not going to be hundreds and hundreds of people on purpose because we want to be able to make sure that we're spending time with each other and that, if you're a content creator and you're wanting just to like learn from people and share together, we're going to have opportunities for that too. So this isn't the conference where you go to, the guys on the stage, as soon as they're done, they're gone. You never talk to them again. Right. Like, no, we're going to be hanging out, learning from each other. And I think we're going to really see some great results from it.
Yeah. And so specifically, and I've required this for all of the speakers, is that you're not coming just to show up, talk, and get paid and leave. No, you are just as much an attendee as you are a speaker. And so, for all the speakers, I've kind of communicated the expectations like, hey, you need to be hanging out beforehand. You need to be hanging out because you are a creator too. This conference is just as much for you as it is for everybody else. We are capped off at 80 people this year. And that includes speakers, vendors, sponsors, and attendees, and the employees. So, space is very limited. Applications are up now. Get your application in. We can get you approved. If you are approved, it'll be done pretty quickly. Tickets are for sale. Do not delay. Early bird pricing ends on February 5th.
Get it going. All right, man. Well, I will see you out in Steubenville, and it's going to be a blast. And I hope that all of you guys sign up as well. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and I guess from the viewer's perspective, I guess I'll see you like next week or so on your channel. So, yeah.
That's right. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Cool.